Yo, what's up guys? We're back with a new video. It's about time I'm making an updated Blessing Stone tier list video. I thought it's now the perfect time to do one since there were a lot of changes with the Blessing Stones overall, and the last one was like 4 months ago. So why not make a new tier list for everybody to enjoy? And let's just kick things off. First off, we have Double-Edged Sword. Double-Edged Sword, in my opinion, belongs to A tier. It's a very good Blessing Stone. You get a 16% attack increase. There's nothing really bad about it. Yes, the enemy does more damage to you, but really it doesn't matter too much overall. Very solid one nonetheless. And also, like, I'm looking at the full potential of the Blessing Stone, because some of them Blessing Stones are like very good when they are legendaries, but if they're below legendary, are not that great. Now next up we have the Advanced Dagger Technique, also a very solid one, gives you 40% damage increase when the enemy is below 70%. Very solid one, can't go wrong with that one as well. A little bit more situational, but nonetheless a good one. The next up, which surprised me personally, was the Feather Strike. Feather Strike helped me a lot doing Bar and Heart mode to get rid of the break bar, because the break bar was very thick and a little bit more persistent to break. So this one, especially when you have a legendary version, helps out a ton, breaking thick break bars. Then we have the Camouflage, the first defensive one. This belongs, in my opinion, to C tier. Doesn't really do much for you. Like, okay, you get hit, you get a little bit of HP back, but you have first, second cooldown. Depends on the fight. Like, there's some battles, it really doesn't matter if you receive damage, because the damage you receive is negligible in the first place. And then there are other fights where you receive so much damage that this thing doesn't even help you out. That you can tank like maybe one hit, and then the second hit you would die anyway, so that doesn't do much for you. Then the next one is the Kandarius Blessing, which in my opinion gets an A tier actually, because if you have it at the golden version, you now get a 16% HP increase. And let's say you fight very difficult dungeons, like with weak dungeon doesn't matter in the first place, but let's say with very difficult dungeon, now you get a lot of more HP for your Jinwoo, and that blessing might help you out with surviving one attack from the boss and not getting one shot at immediately. So that's why this one belongs to the A tier. Now for the first S tier, we have the daily quest completion. Reason being is now that we have the defensive slot, you never can go wrong with just using daily quest completion. Also, when you're trying to auto something, this is now a failsafe for you, that maybe the auto doesn't do what you want it to do. This one just saves your auto runs basically. So that's why I know with the defensive slots, this belongs in my opinion to S tier. Now next up we have the Boss Slayer. Boss Slayer, in my opinion, is a C tier Blessing Stone. It's not very good. Yes, you get 20% damage increase, but the 20% damage increase is a additive damage increase. So the more damage increase you have from curse effect, other effects, so on and so forth, you only the damage increase effect you get from the Boss Slayer is actually lower. So it's basically like with the crit damage curve, you know, the more crit damage you get, the more points you need to actually get something out of it. It's kind of similar to Boss Slayer with the damage increase, and also with the increase on your damage cooldown, dash cooldown. It's not very good, so that's one, it's low. Now we have a second S tier going up, and that is Kasaka Steel Scale. This is, in my opinion, even a little bit better than the daily quest completion, because what Kasaka Steel Scale does is you get a 15% damage decrease taken effect, plus your shields are 15% thicker. You can never go wrong with the Kasaka Steel Scale in your defensive slot. If you have it equipped. There are not that many options anyways you can run. This is the safest you can run. You have it in there. You will never remove it for the time being till they change maybe things, but this one very solid. Next up we have Mana Rampage. Mana Rampage, in my opinion, is more of a situational one. Mostly this one is used for Battlefield of Time, because the mana, we still have mana issues in the game right now. So this one you kind of want to avoid, but sometimes for Battlefield of Time it is useful. Now we have next up Monarch Domain. Monarch Domain is still ass, so this is why it belongs at the bottom. Nothing much to say about that one. Still not good at all. Gotta wait for like an insane Shadow Army buff to make this one even worthwhile. Now we have Pulverize. Pulverize, one of the best Blessing Stones in the entire game. Increases your break bar damage, plus when you remove then the break bar, you know, deal 30% increased damage. Very good. 8 here. Next up, we have the Reawakening, still the best blessing stone in the entire game. 20% cooldown reduction is just way too powerful, and it remains to be the top of the meta game. Like you remove certain things, for example, pulverize. Like when the enemy doesn't have a break bar, you're not gonna bring pulverize because you don't benefit from it. But Reawakening is something you always have, right? Now, next up, we have the Sharp Perception. Sharp Perception is also belongs into the A-tier category. It helps out a lot. For example, if you're still like a Westwind player, the Sharp Perception helps you out because you now get an 18% additional crit rate, and that helps you actually getting the crits with your Westwind. Also good sometimes in Battlefield of Time and certain content you want to run this one. Good overall blessing stone. Then the next two I want to rank hand in hand together are the speed and the swiftness. Both, in my opinion, belong to the B tier category because they are more of a situational blessing stone. Even though I like both of them, the one gives you 4 dashes and then you have a chance of getting one of your dashes reset. The other one gives you 20% movement speed while also decreasing the cooldown of your dash by 20%. Very, very good overall, but still situational. You usually want to go with damaging blessing stones in the first place. So from time to time, you want to bring one or the other. It really doesn't matter too much how you want to bring both, but overall, it's what it is. The next up, we have Swift Strike, and Swift Strike, in my opinion, is just trash. Like, it basically does the same thing as, you know what, let's rank back attack as well. So basically the same thing as back attack, but the thing with back attack is you do a shadow step, then you're at the back at the enemy, and then you have just increased damage because you attack at the back, right? Now, with the Swift Strike is, after you did a shadow step, now you have the same buff as the back attack, which is the 16%, but it only lasts for 5 seconds. Why do you want to have that? It's too situational. Might as well you want to use something that's always active. So that's something, why bother running, right? Then we have the Bloodlust. Bloodlust, obviously one of the best blessing stones in the entire game, also belongs into the A-tier category as well. There are very situational use cases where you do not equip the Bloodlust and go for something else. So that's why, if you want to know, oh, why is this not S tier, why is this not S tier, because it's something you always want to equip, right? So I usually, when you look at my last tier list I did quite a while, what I did is I had an S plus category. So you could say, like, what you see here is S plus, and then this is S, but I just removed the S plus tier category just to make it a little bit simpler and put them over so it's simple. Then next up we have the HP extraction. My opinion, B tier category. Most of the content right now is bossing content anyways, so you don't get any benefits from it unless you have like mobs in there going, right? So this one is situational overall. There are better blessings out there. Then we have the Tenacity, also B tier for the defensive one, because when you drop below 30% HP, you now have 50% damage taken increase effect, plus you have 50% increased defense. I don't know if defense does that much, to be honest, but nonetheless, a situational one. Depends on what you want to run, to be honest, with the defensive one, because there are better options as well out there. Then we have this one. I feel like it's trash. I don't even bother putting this anymore like niche, because you never use that. Like, you get at max, what are you getting? I think it is 7.5% attack increase, but you have to be like very low. Same with Chains of Blood. Chains of Blood is also here like a niche category. Good when you're very low on HP, but still situation. And this one is just not good at all, so this is why it's no, I don't even like. It's not even worth bothering with this one anyways. Then next up we have the Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer I like a lot. I wish I could put it into the A tier category after they buffed it, but it's sadly situational. Now, if they decide to buff Demon Slayer, in my opinion, like when you have the gold version, for example, you get 1200 MP and you get 5 MP every second. If they change the 5 MP to 50 MP, this would push the Demon Slayer Blessing Stone up to an A tier category for me, because that is very helpful, because it helps out with our mana problem. And as well, I really wanted to see something like speed, swiftness, and Demon Slayer. This is the stuff I wanted to see in the defensive category, because in my opinion, those are not offensive Blessing Stones. I don't get it. They really put like the worst Blessing Stones into the defensive category, because they looked at the data and I saw whatever we have in the defensive tier right now, no one is ever using, except for maybe like the Delacroix completion. But yeah, that's what we have to live with that. Then we have the Hunter thingy, the Wolf assassin thing, I forgot the name, but this one increases your damage against normal monster, also like a situational one, and nothing too crazy. If you fight a lot of normal monsters like a story mode or something, yeah, then I might as well use it, but they made it a lot easier, so now it's not as good. Sometimes you can make use of it, sometimes you don't. Then we have the We Are One. Even though it is situational, you could argue putting it here, because you know what, I think I will put it here. Like it kind of, no, actually, you know what, I put it at the lowest point possible in the A tier category. Like for me, this one, We Are One, you can only make use of it in Path of Destruction, and you can only make use of it in Guild Boss right now. Those are the only two places where you can use it. And the most important thing is the Guild Boss, where you can make use of it, where it has its power potential. POD a little bit less, but definitely with the Guild Boss. But I would actually, for me personally, I would put it at the highest point of the B tier category, because you only use it for Guild Boss and nothing else. But I know a lot of people will be like, oh, but it's so good. Nonetheless, I put it at the lowest, like A minus. For me, it's more of an A minus or B plus Blessing Stone than anything else, even though I would like to have it just for the Guild Boss. Then we have Weakness Detection, also one of the best Blessing Stones in the entire game. A tier, very, very good, very, very versatile, 20% elemental weakness, damage increase, which is one of the best multipliers in the game. Very, very strong. You cannot go wrong with it. The only time you're not gonna use it is when you are in neutral mode. That's very rare to happen, but like if you do like Battlefield of Trust, something like that, or PRD neutral, that's where you don't want to use it. Except for that, you always have it as well. Now when it comes to the last three, the defensive ones, now we have Life. Life, in my opinion, is would you put it into the S tier always equipped category? I'm not sure. I put it in the high category, like it doesn't matter too much. I put it in the high tier category because it is very powerful. Now you get like a fixed shield for the first 60 seconds of the battle. Like for most of the battles, it doesn't matter too much. But as I said earlier, where you fight bosses which are doing a lot of damage, now this is very strong because you have such a fixed shield at the beginning of the battle and it lasts for 60 seconds, which is a very long time. It does help you to tank a couple of hits, especially like if you need to survive, you have like a survival mode or something like that. This just helps with survivability in these type of dungeons. So that's why this one is one of the better Blessing Stones. The next up we have the penalty one. This one you have to dash 5 times to get 45% defense increase. It's absolute dog shit. I don't know what they were thinking about that. Like, first of all, you have to do 5 perfect dodges to activate it, and then you just get 45% defense. Why? And then last but not least, we have the Natural Disaster. This is also, I put it into the A tier. No, you what? This one I put in B tier. This one high B tier. It's not, in my opinion, not deserving of A tier. It is very good for what it does specifically, but it's still situational. You can run like different options. For example, when we have the 4 slots available, you're gonna run Kasaka, Daily Quest, Kandari's Blessing, and the Life one. Now, when you do Guild Boss, you just remove one of them and just equip now Natural Disaster to get a damage decrease taken, 8% effect for the entire squad, right? And when you're doing Guild Boss, you equip that. But when you're not doing Guild Boss, you're gonna use the other things, okay? And yeah, guys, so this sums up the updated Blessing Stone tier list of November 2024. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it. And see you with the next one. Deuces.